My manager Emily looks at me. When should I rely on you? Her tear-filled eyes sparkle and are breathtakingly gorgeous. Emily puts her head on my shoulder as I hesitate. She has lovely scent emanating from her hair. From now on, I might rely on you a bit, she replies. Her remarks have me agitarian. Ah, I slept so well. Ryan is my name. I'm a businessman in my 31st year. I awoke in a hotel room this morning on the final day of a 3-day work trip. My head hurts. Ugh. Last night, I had too much to drink. I wake up from my sleep with a dull headache and think back to the business dinner we had last night. After the meeting, we headed directly to a local bar that opened early, where I ended up becoming very Wazrian. However, it was worthwhile. Emily, just wait. You'll be happy with the outcome. My hand is clenched as I raise it in the empty hotel room, suggesting that I'm still a little tipsy. I decide to take a shower since I suddenly feel humiliated. The woman I feel something for is Emily. She's a gorgeous, unmarried woman of 33, older than me. She is a cool woman who makes a lifelong commitment to her work. We collaborate on sales a lot together as a team. I remember that we are invariant to a wedding today after having a long shower. I've heard that a couple of the bride and groom's colleagues were in Varian, and they are important contacts from a significant customer. We're a little company, so I wasn't expecting to be in Varian, so I was shocked when Emily and I got invitations. Even the normally restrained Emily was leaping with delight. We get along well with the couple at work quite a bit. The invitation to the wedding is a result of Emily, and I always dealing with them honestly. I have to get dressed nicely and get to the event in order to leave an even better impression. By rail, it takes roughly an hour to get to my house in New York from here. I'll go to the place after finishing my preparations at home. The nuptials begin around 3:00 p.m. Even though it's just 9:00 a.m., I have a train reservation that departs at 10. I can relax for a little while because it's simply a 5-minute walk from the hotel to the train. I search for my phone and make the decision to call Emily. I always have my phone in my bag. Where's my bag? Huh. I was so inebriated when I got back to the hotel last night that I immediately passed out. I would have thrown the bag close to the bed if it had been my turn. I check underneath the bed, but it's not there. I look around the hotel room, but I still can't seem to find it. Panic creeps into my consciousness. Is it possible that I left it at the bar? That backpack contains my phone, business cards, and wallet. Everything that matters. I asked them to phone the pub I went to last night as I dash to the front desk, but nobody picks up. Naturally, yesterday also saw the opening of the bar at 3:00 p.m. At this hour, the staff members must all be sound asleep. Fortunately, the hotel costs are paid for by the firm, so there was no issue with checking out. But all I have now is a travel bag that I've hurriedly packed full of clothes in. I'm lost, but there's one silver lining. My train ticket was in my suit's breast pocket. I always pocket the tickets. I've done it since I was a young child. I left the return ticket in my pocket after using the outgoing ticket. Emily says to me all the time, "Put it in your wallet. It's risky." But the habit came to my rescue this time. Anyway, I can work things out as long as I can get home. My landlord can let me into my apartment even without keys if I explain this to him. Thankfully, my landlord is on the ground floor of the apartment complex, and we communicate frequently. Despite my anxiety over losing my phone, I hurried to the station in time to catch the 10:00 train. I see people gawking at one location in the station as I move quickly through it. What is happening? Glancing in their way, I spot a squatting teenage girl wearing a school uniform. She appears to be crying. Despite her apparent pain, no one approaches her while she sobs loudly. A high school girl is in danger, and nobody is there to help her. What a cruel world. There's still time before the train leaves. I go up to the girl. What's wrong? She flinches and gives me a worried face when I speak. It makes sense that the abrupt conversation from a man in his 30s startles her. However, it appears to be an emergency, and she needs assistance. Her tiny lips move just a bit as I wait for her to say something. She cries and murmurs, I'm okay, lowering her head once more. It's obvious she's not okay. I carry on speaking. I can't just leave you like this, even though I might not be able to do much. What took place? Is there anyone you need to call? As I reach for my phone, I realize, oh, that's right, that neither my wallet nor my phone is with me. Okay, I'll go now, but maybe the lady at the information desk can help. I offer, realizing that I can't help her since she doesn't appear ready to talk. The girl looks worried that I'm going to be gone. I try to get up, but she tugs at the hem of my suit. My mom is in critical condition. What? Through her tears, I attempt to interpret the story. Lily is her name. She is a New York-born, 17-year-old high school student. She found out this morning that her mother was critically injured in an automobile accident. She and her teacher hurried to the station. They split up at the station entrance, and on her approach to the platform, she discovered at the ticket gate that both her pocketbook and the ticket her teacher had given her were missing. She doesn't know if she left it at her internship location or dropped it somewhere along the way. To make matters worse, she isn't even carrying her phone because her school forbids cell phone use during internships. She knelt down here, feeling quite powerless. How should I proceed? My mom. I can't abandon her in this state. I want to help her since I lost my wallet too, but all I have is a train ticket to New York and some old clothes. She can return to New York if I give her this ticket, but I won't be able to do the same. Today, I also have an important client wedding to attend. Thinking about this conundrum, I think of my grandfather. My mom's side grandpa loved me so much when I was a child. He looked very lonely after my grandma died, and then he got sick. He appeared to be saying, I'm all alone, while lying in bed in the hospital. I used to tell him, you've got me, and always smiled when I saw him because it made him happy. However, I was unable to be with him when he ultimately passed away. He passed away by himself. I was really sorry that I did. I was playing at a friend's house when I learned of his serious condition. Grandpa had already passed away by the time my parents called the homes of all of my classmates to try and locate me. I turned to face Lily, who was still in tears. Who needs this rail ticket more obviously? I reach into my breast pocket, pull out the train ticket, and give it to Lily. Her face briefly brightens, but she swiftly averts her gaze out of shame. I push the ticket firmly into her grasp, but I feel bad for taking it. I give her a hard grasp on her hand and tell her, don't think twice. You'll regret it. Lily's surprised, teary eyes expand. I understand your mother's condition is critical. Although critical implies the worst could happen at any time, I sincerely hope she survives. Before you regret it, run without hesitation. She takes off sprinting for the platform after I give her a gentle shove. With my head in my hands, I watch her vanish past the ticket gate. How did I get here? Was I really pretending to be a hero of some sort? I have an important wedding to attend, but it should be alright as long as Emily shows there. Anyway, I'm just an extra. My ability to remain upbeat and avoid concentrating on things is my strength. I decide not to worry and make my way to the police station. Perhaps someone has turned in my bag. It was not, however, at the police station. I pleaded with the policeman to allow me to use the phone. When I contacted in the office, nobody picked up. Of course, it's Saturday. We don't work on the weekends unless there's an emergency. I then make a last-ditch effort to remember Emily's phone number. There's no way I could remember her number in this day and age when you can call someone with just a single tap on your phone. I searched my travel luggage for any business contact information, but I couldn't find anything. I made the decision to go to the pub I went to last night. It opens as a bar at 3:00 p.m. I might be able to get the train, sit through an hour-long travel, and still make it to the 3:00 p.m. wedding if the staff shows up a few hours early. I was waiting nervously for the personnel to show up, but they didn't show up till 1:00 p.m. I was getting impatient as I wear in. At last, at 1:30 p.m., a staff person arrived slowly, taken aback by my abrupt appearance. Luckily, my stuff was kept behind the register. When cleaning up, the employee who had served me the previous evening saw my luggage and added Brian to follow me, but they were unable to locate me. They expressed regret for the wait for their novice. I hurried out of the bar after thanking the gracious personnel. I noticed that Emily had a ton of missed calls when I looked at my phone. While I was running, I called Emily. Before the first ring had even ended, she responded. Emily's irate voice rang in my ears before I could say anything. "What have you been doing all this time?" The abrupt yelling stunned me so much that my mind went blank. The wedding ceremony begins at 3:00 p.m. Even now, it is just 1:30 p.m. I shouldn't have to take this much criticism. Perhaps something occurred. I gave a quick explanation of the circumstances. Emily groaned so deeply that it was alarming, even though I couldn't see her, when I remarked that I had left my luggage at the bar. "What? So you haven't done so yet?" "No, I haven't gotten on the train yet." She exclaimed, "What on earth are you doing?" Once more. It makes sense. I'm to blame for this. I was going to tell her that I would be running a little late and ask her to clarify the situation when someone shocked me on the other end of the phone. Emily appeared to be crying. Our customer, who has crucial connections, is getting married. Even getting in Varian is a significant opportunity to increase trust. I could blow this chance, but sobbing seems excessive. I began to fabricate excuses, thinking that my admiration for Emily might have to be sealed for all time. Well, I did have the train ticket, but I gave it away for a good reason. "What?" Emily gasped on the other end of the call, and I could feel it. I got to the station right then. "Well, I'll get a fresh ticket and get over immediately." I suddenly ended the phone and purchased a ticket to New York at the desk. "Talk to you soon," I said. In 10 minutes, the train was leaving. Nevertheless, it was 3:00 p.m. when they arrived in New York. The wedding will take place in a 5-star hotel around 15 minutes by taxi from New York Station, but I will definitely not be able to make the 3:00 p.m. start. There isn't enough time for me to change into my wedding suit at home. I hurried into a department store as soon as I got off the train at New York Station, explaining my position to the employees, bought a black suit that fit me, and changed there before going to the event. I headed to the location, thankful for my body that fits into off-the-rack suits and my mother for raising me the way she did. Breathless, I arrived to see that the wedding ceremony was about to end and give way to the celebration. The time was 3:30 p.m. I was able to save myself from having to open the door in the middle of the reception. I went looking for Emily after checking in. Emily saw me before I could find her. She was wearing a gorgeous smoky pink dress. She came running over to give me a hard hug. Well, my face flushed, and I mumbled incoherently, my mind going blank. Emily expressed gratitude. Despite my lack of understanding, I gazed into her tear-filled eyes. "You helped Lily, didn't you?" Even though the name seemed familiar, my mind was still not quite working properly. "My niece is the high school student to whom you handed your train ticket. This girl, you see." Emily displayed her phone to me. The girl I'd given the ticket to just hours before was there, looking vaguely happy in what appeared to be a hospital ward. I was astounded as I was overwhelmed by the synchronicity. "Wait, so the critical condition you mentioned was?" "My sister," Emily went on. It was a difficult circumstance. Emily learned her sister was seriously hurt and raced to the hospital. Emily's brother-in-law, Lily's father, had also died in an accident, in addition to Emily's previously deceased parents. Emily had been waiting for Lily and trying to get in touch with me after getting in touch with Lily's instructor. She asked me to attend the wedding in her place because she couldn't possibly make it in this state. Her calls were unanswered though, and I realized that I had left my phone and everything else at the pub. About 11:30 a.m., Lily arrived at the hospital. At that point, they discovered she was unable to board the train due to the loss of her handbag. Startled, Emily inquired, "How did you get back?" Eyes welling with tears, Lily uttered, "A stranger gave me his ticket. We had to head out for the wedding by the time you called if we were going to make it. When I eventually reached out to you, you promised to be late, even though I had thought you would handle the wedding by yourself." I cried out in worry and frustration. Emily said, "I apologized," to me. She apologized, and I took it. Wait a minute, I noticed a startling realization. So your sister is still in critical condition, and Lily is alone with her? Emily nodded as I stare this, fighting back tears. "Hurry, go back to the hospital quickly," I shorian, pushing Emily's back like a broken record. I made it to the wedding, and Lily is there, so everything is okay. In addition, this is a significant event. Before she could finish, I said, "Just leave. Should you not, you will regret it." I see the Ivesterian, "You'll regret it," twice already today. I stared Emily square in the eyes as I thought of my grandfather once more. "Leave this to me. Everything is going to be all right. I'll make this crucial agreement happen on my own." I sincerely conveyed my unfounded confidence. "Kindly remain with your sister." I pleaded with her, "Please stay with Lily." Emily turned and walked out of the room after saying, "Thank you," softly. As I watched Emily's back, I prayed, "Please make it in time." Nothing went wrong throughout the reception. The bride and groom grinned as I approached them at the appropriate time. They were quite concerned after learning about Emily's early departure from the crew. They told me to take care of her, which made me feel inferior. I had nothing to sustain me and had caused all of this hardship. They expressed excitement for our huge deal, and I gave them my word that I would return for business. It seems that they had heard part of what was being said in the lobby. I hastily left the bride and groom's table, feeling a little uncomfortable and aware that others were waiting to greet them. As soon as the reception was over, I gave Emily a call. I straightened up at her worried voice. "Can I come to the hospital too?" Emily's voice was weak, and I wanted so much to help her. Instead of giving me the runaround for interrupting a family moment, she surprised me by saying, "I'm waiting for you." I got a cab to the hospital after asking where it was. Gasping for air, I arrived at the hospital and observed staff members, including nurses, crowded around. She was obviously running out of time. Sensibly sensing the circumstances, I walked up to Emily in silence. Lily was clutching the hand of the woman who was on the bed, and Emily's eyes were overflowing with tears. Like Emily, Lily was in tears. Lily gave a little whimper as the heart rate monitor beeped less frequently. "Mom." Everybody's attention was on Lily. "You're holding my hand, Mom. Are you able to hear me?" Her mother's eyelids did not open when she spoke to her in desperation. Upon close inspection, I noticed a little movement of her lips, but I was unable to discern any words. She appeared to be saying "thank you," so I said it in a whisper out of reflex. The cardiac monitor gave a menacing noise at that point. There were muffled tears across the room. Emily faltered, and I helped her up. As the doctor's last words reverberated hollowly across the room, Emily and Lily started crying. The room went silent after the nurses and physicians had departed, and Emily and Lily had sobbed uncontrollably. "I'm so glad," I muttered. Emily regarded my inadvertent remark with disdain. Ignoring it, I muttered, Grandpa may have added something as well. I would have loved to hear it. My eyes began to brim up with tears. Emily's hard face began to melt into tears once more. Did she say thank you? She said what I had spoken in the last seconds. With conviction, I said, yes. Emily's eyes filled with tears again. She said, I see, as though comforting herself. Many thanks. I didn't get your name or contact details. On the train, I felt remorse for it. I had no idea you and my aunt worked for the same company. Now that she had calmed down a little, Lily really did love me. Emily took my lead and was grateful too. We were able to say a proper goodbye because of you. I'm grateful. I retreated a step. I stammered, well, you two could have gotten back quickly if I hadn't left my bag at the bar, to which Emily scolded me with a scowl. The tone in the room softened for a time when Lily started giggling. Emily looked at me and said, just let me know if you need anything. When should I rely on you? Her eyes, full with tears, were sparkling and breathtakingly gorgeous. Emily put her head on my shoulder while I hesitated. Emily's hair gave out a lovely scent. I might rely on you a bit more from now on, she added. She said something that startled me, so I yelled back, yes, I'll always support you. Emily reprimanded me mildly, saying, you're too loud. Following then, only Emily and Lily's immediate family members were involved in the burial and other preparations. I did what I could to assist. After a little calmness, Emily welcomed me to her house. She expressed her gratitude by ordering some easy snacks for delivery. Emily's cheery demeanor belied a trace of grief at seeing her sister depart. Emily spoke slowly at first. I decided to take Lily in. It was to be anticiparian. I hadn't thought Emily would do that. I said, Lily must be so relieved. Ah, marriage is a distant dream now, Emily remarked with a wry smile on her face. How about me? I blurted out without thinking. Emily laughed quietly and showed no signs of horror. That isn't feasible. Lily still has 5 years left to complete her undergraduate education. Ryan, find someone you like and be happy. I can wait 5 years, I muttered, holding on to optimism despite my frustration. Emily appeared to be dismissing me casually. Please go on a date with me that is intended to lead to marriage. I'll wait for however long it takes. I'm in love with you, I cried out in desperation. Emily looked amazing as she straightened her back. It is my duty to bring Lily up to be a decent person till she completes her college education. It's not a money problem, but I have to help Lily. Emily firmly staring. I don't have time for a relationship, staring directly at me. Can't you share a bit of that responsibility with me? I'd inquired. At my remarks, Emily frowned her head. It's not feasible for a 31-year-old child to take care of a high school female. To Emily's frustrated glance, I shot out, and Emily, you're just a 33-year-old young woman. At my comment, Emily puffed out her cheeks. Don't state a woman's age so bluntly. I started laughing because her puffed-up cheeks were so funny. Subsequently, I approached Emily and grasped her hand. For an instant her hand stiffened, but she did not withdraw. Lily was sobbing at the station, and I want to shield her. Lily was crying in the hospital, and I want to be there for her. And just as you were crying in that hospital room, I want to spend the rest of my life loving and mending you. Emily did not reply verbally, but she gave me a firm handshake. She was expressing her affirmation through it. I married Emily after 5 years together. We had arrived at the reception after the wedding ceremony. The venue was tiny and cozy so as not to make Emily feel awkward about not having many family. Our guest list consisted mostly of friends. We sent an invitation to the client's couple who had first invited us to their wedding 5 years prior. Grinning, they brought their 2 tiny children along. Emily got up first to change into a new clothes. Lily approached our table as I was watching her go. She had been busy as a first-year police officer and had recently graduated from college. It was her first time back from the police academy. She studied diligently and aspired to become a police officer in order to assist less in road accidents after losing both of her parents in accidents. Every time I dropped by Emily's house with some goodies, Lily was in her room studying. With pride, I observed the stunning young lady in front of me. "Lily, you're so adorable. Has someone strange attempted to contact you?" I inquired. Lily chuckled at what I said. "Cuddly? You ought to mention it to the bride," she shot back. "It's okay. I told the bride earlier that she's gorgeous. Emily was stunning throughout the preparations, I've been telling her." Lily called me Uncle Ryan and added, "That's so like you, Uncle Ryan. I apologize for keeping you waiting for half a decade. My aunt has a strong will." We had agreed that we wouldn't tie the knot before Lily was settled. Not just Emily, but the two of us made that choice. I gave Lily a slight shake of my head and grinned. "In these 5 years, have I done anything for you?" I inquired. "Uncle Ryan, you've been my hero ever since you gave me the train ticket," Lily whispered in my ear as she leaned gently in. I blushed suddenly when I heard that. Lily smiled and Tonri me. I was told by a staff member that I could leave the room for the time being. Lily smiled at me as I got up to go. "My hero, Uncle Ryan, please take good care of my precious aunt." I nodded in agreement with what she said. Emily would be dressing in a slim, deep blue dress that was just right for her next look. I knew I would be praising her once more. I forced a smile to hide as I walked toward the reception hall door and heard the MC say, "Towards you," adorned in that beautiful blue dress, behind me.